This will cheer everybody up. And now we have this wacky letter from Roberta Nicholson, Executive Officer of National Association of Realtors, the chapter in Hudson. I am in receipt of your latest letter. Please note that we are, as per previous correspondence, the Columbia Green Board of Realtors has agreed not to proceed on your complaint. As per Council's instructions, I am writing to ask that you please cease from sending further correspondence regarding these issues. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, Roberta Nicholson. Well, received by Glendora on Groundhog Day 2005. Memo endorsed by Glendora Friday the 4th, February 2005. Now, every paper you have sent Glendora has been done. We have 239 elegant words, but your opacity is best expressed in the vernacular. Glendora sends you 30 pages of National Association of Realtors infractions by Natalia Preferred Country Properties. Right then, had you not been a fraud, you should have dealt with them. But you send Glendora 8 pages of Code of Ethics and Standards of Practice and dump the burden on Glendora. Then you the whole world, then you teach the whole world that any member can get around the code standards simply by transgressing a huge number of them, because then the by then the complaint becomes too complex for you to intercept. Your appeal process is not meaningful. Failing also, you have exposed your Code of Ethics and Standards of Practice to be rhetoric. But worse, you have revealed your fraud. You have deceived the public. That's so, remember folks, now, National Board of Realtors, R. That was not an invitation to a tea party that Glendora served you. By Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, you were commanded to answer the complaint against you and to serve a copy on the federal court. You have agreed, quote, not to proceed in your complaint, quote. What does that mean? It means Glendora can move for judgment by default against you, Rule 55, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Per counsel's instructions, you say, your counsel does not know much about legal practice. Rules of service are strict. You are defendants. Papers must be served on all parties. Even if you and your inept counsel go poor raw. Your internet debut is number 4006, circa, 4th edition, scheduled in 3 weeks. Yours in truth and in Amor Patriae, Glendora. This camera can read better than I can. This is a nice little book, the Glendora Happy Book. I believe it was published in 1979. See all the pretty color pages? This is the deluxe edition. This is a plastic cover. Plastic cover. Now, this one over here is the paperback cover. That's a nice little book, and it tells you how to be happy. It's elementary. It's kind of introduction, but if you did what was in this book, I think you would make it. And that's my dearest wish for you. You want a Glendora Happy Book? Okay. Then you can call and get one. There was an ad in the newspaper and it says crystal vase for sale by lady, slightly cracked. The old lady was down on the platform at Grand Central. And the conductor says, this train goes to Buffalo in 10 minutes. She says, wonderful. Last time it took 8 hours. The priest said to the little boy, if you found $20, you wouldn't keep it, would you? The little boy says, oh, no, sir. And the priest says, oh, good boy. He said, I'd spend it. Bachelor went into the store. He says, I want to buy a mattress. And the clerk says, a spring mattress. The bachelor says, no, one I can sleep on all year round. Son, studying ancient history, said, Daddy, what's a Grecian urn? And Daddy says, $9 an hour. Boy Scout leader, teaching the youth how to climb mountains, says, the next thing we're going to do is to climb that steep cliff over there. And a little boy, shivering and shaking, said, for that cliff very often? And Scout leader says, no. Once is usually enough. It's 8 o'clock. What do we rejoice about? The weather. The weather was so good today, wasn't it? It moderated considerably. It was cloudy in the morning, and then it went bright sunshine the rest of the day. We lost power at 5:25. That's pretty scary. What's the longest word in the English language? Smiles. Between the first letter and the last letter is 1 mile. What's a cock-a-doodle-don't? What's the opposite of a cock-a-doodle-doo? No, what's the opposite of a cock-a-doodle-doo? A cock-a-doodle-don't. What was on the hypochondriac's gravestone? What was on his tombstone? See? I told you I was sick. Ad in the newspaper. For sale. Umbrella by lady with 2 cracked ribs. Professor, asked the student, is it difficult to become a professor? No, said the professor. You do it by degrees. The owner of the store said to his new employee, I saw you arguing with a customer. The policy in this store is strictly the customer is always right. I never want to see you argue with a customer again. Do you understand? Yes, sir. What were you arguing about? He said you're an idiot. That joke would apply to the clerk in the penny store up in the women's blouses. She was certainly bad as to customer relations. And pennies is no good. You don't have any more button-down collar folks. No more button-down ladies' collars. The store didn't have any. They haven't had anything for a while. And then the catalog didn't have any. Just as I am without one plea, but that thy blood was shed for me, and that thou bidst me come to thee, O Lamb of God, I come. I come. And look at how late the moon is rising. Look how late the moon is rising. Look at that. I started seeing it around, oh, isn't that pretty? I started seeing it around 4:30. And then, look what we got up here. If you can see it. I can't make it show on the camera. But we got two big planets. And we got more and more animal tracks across the snow. Good morning, everybody. We rejoice for the night, for the rest, and for the pleasant morning light. There's 10 legal papers have to be done this cycle. Deborah E. Cock, who signed for a chat with Glendora, and then let Cecilia Masterilli and Cablevision bully her out of it. And that case is in the town court of Phillipstown, which is in Cold Spring. This is, I don't know how she ever did this, but this is Robert M. Callaghan, liar for hire, for Cablevision, and how he ever got involved in this case is inscrutable. And so we didn't think it would do any harm to send to the town justice there in Phillipstown a copy of the appeal, the third appeal that Glendora's won this year, and that would be the Glendora versus Preferred Country Properties, and Glendora and Preferred Country Properties versus Glendora. That's the third appeal. And so we sent him a copy of that. And what is taking Justice Toman so long? You know, this case was filed last spring and it's fully briefed, and they're in default. They're in double default. What's taking him so long? Toman. Perfect admission, perfect delight. Visions of rapture now burst on my sight. Angels descending come from above. Echoes of mercy, whispers of love. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. Ad in the newspaper. Crystal vase for sale by lady, slightly cracked. Conductor on the platform to a little old lady. This train goes to Buffalo in 10 minutes. Oh, it's wonderful. Last time it took 8 hours. Priest to little boy. If you found $20, would you keep it? Oh, no, sir. Good little boy. What would you do with it? I'd spend it. Bachelor in the furniture store. I want a mattress. A spring mattress? No. One that I can sleep on all year round. Boy, studying ancient history. Dad, what's a Grecian urn? Dad, $9 an hour. So there's I think there's 10 legal papers in process. I keep forgetting to tell you about Omnibus 25, Glendora versus John Tata again. You know what I think is going on? This is information and belief. But James Dolan didn't want to do that to his father, and probably James Dolan didn't do that to his father. It was John Tata. John Tata made James Dolan do it. It's a terrible thing. And John Tata, I don't think Charles Dolan has anything to say. I think it's all up to John Tata. And so, you have to pray for those people. Please, folks, pray for John Tata. Pray for the guy who's pulling the strings of John Tata. He's a puppet for somebody. Pray for them all, that they cleanse out this evil and they cast out this evil spirit. They want prestige and power and money and respect and approval and applause. Big houses, big cars. But there's no happiness in that. Unify them with God. Make them one with God. There they'll find all the power, prestige, and glory that they're looking for. Pray very hard for these people. John Tata, Cablevision Systems Corporation, Charles Dolan, James Dolan, Mac Udall, Thomas Garga, Charles Foreman, all these hired guns, Peggy Anderson, Miles Rich, all these people who sold their souls, John Sherwood, Christine Savarino, and Cecilia Masterilli. Pray for them happy, whole, and healthy, and all present blessings continue. Fourth legal paper out of 10 to James E. Loken, the Chief Judge. You think he's related to Christiana Loken? For the 8th Circuit in St. Louis. This is a judicial misconduct and disability complaint against Leonard L. Pearsall, District Judge, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. His conduct is prejudicial to the effective and efficacious administration of the business of the courts. That's straight from the law, Title 28, 351, the Judicial Reform Act of 2002. And it's not reformed one judge. The business of the courts, if Pearsall doesn't know this, then it's disability. If he does know it, he did not do it, and that is misconduct. Glendora brought before Pearsall over